Okay, we've talked a bit about our children and their temperament and what sort of baggage they come with in terms of their genes. Maybe we should talk a little bit about our own baggage and our own expectations. We all have baggage when it comes to parenting, and it's often much heavier than we realise. The way we were brought up, our attitudes to things like communication, like how families get along, in particular discipline and punishment, these can be quite entrenched, and often we're not even really that aware of them, and we're certainly not aware of what they are like in our partner often. So when we talk about is your child an easy or difficult child, maybe we should look into whether we are an easy or difficult parent, and then reflect upon that and maybe make some adjustments if we need to. Now, in terms of our partner, parents often don't talk about this sort of thing until after they have children. So I think the earlier you can have a bit of a chat about this and say, what are your attitudes to things like smacking? What are your attitudes to things like shouting at kids? Discipline. What are your expectations of how children should behave in a public space? These are all good things to have a chat about, and as early as you can, even before you have a child if you can. So then we also talk about expectations, and of course I think that expectations in modern society of how we want our children to behave, what we want them to achieve, is often unrealistic and often misses the point. High expectations is not the same as best outcome, and really it's the latter that we should be aiming for. So we can often see parents falling a bit guilty of this, maybe pushing their kids a bit too hard in terms of their own expectations as to what they want their child to achieve. If you go to the sideline of a football field on a Saturday morning, you might see a few dads being guilty of this, and mums in other situations as well. So what our expectations are of our child, and really are they being realistic for that child? Another aspect that we could talk about is how we model, what sort of behaviours and attitudes we model. Do we model things like respect, and what sort of work ethic you have, and how you cope with stress? These are the sort of aspects that your child really picks up on, and we do know that what the modelling that children receive in terms of those very important emotional and social issues, that really influences the outcomes and what sort of people they end up becoming.